The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Went to New York, hung out with Bob, became instant friends. I was in like a sketch. He used to do a thing called the Post Show. It was like early, before YouTube. They had like a sketch video show like that you could watch online every week. They would post like 2 sketches, and they did it for years, and I was in a bunch of them. But that was my debut on the internet. Acting was in the Post Show, and I think it was June 2005. Went out there. And then Bob and I became friends, and then he moved to LA in 2007 when I was already out there, and then we hung out there, and then he ended up writing, was head writer on Not Safe.
Yeah, that's where I met Bob.
Yeah, and so we've been friends for the whole time. He's an amazing person, and now he's writing on this, and they're all out here. We're shooting a thing today, like Christmas themed, and there's a house in St. Louis we're renting that is just decorated for Christmas year round that people just shoot at.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
So
like
convenient.
you buy this, it's like a set that you go to.
There's a lot of places like that. I discovered this. This is like a thing that there's people who just like own properties and then they rent it out to people to do shoots. I mean, obviously it's very popular in LA to do that.
Yeah.
And they're usually like, they look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be surprised how frequently people need things like that, especially in LA.
I couldn't believe there was one in St. Louis. There's multiple ones in St. Louis that Chris sent us. So Chris is producing it here on the ground, and then we are shooting it today, and it's definitely harder than the roast, because usually we just are roasting the game, and like this is why I like this job, is because there's no preparation. Like you just have to do it, and it is whatever it is.
Yeah.
And this, it's like if it's not good, it's like our fault. And usually I can just blame, it's like the timing, and this game wasn't very exciting, and there wasn't a lot to do with this. And this one's just like, we've had all the time to come up with the concept, we've had all the time to write the jokes, and
to be fair, we didn't have all the time.
Not
It
all
still
the
was like
time.
5 days.
yes,
you know,
it's still a small amount of time.
Yeah, but I also think like that there's a lot of parameters here, and I think the bar should be a little bit lower. Because
it's lower.
Lower.
We're doing a limbo.
Yeah, we're going under the bar.
Yeah.
And I just would like to sit into Brian's compliment corner for a second. We're talking about Bob and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is everyone that's working on this is so funny.
So funny.
And such good, responsible workers.
And oh my God, I was like, I told you guys last night, I'm just like blown away at how hard you guys work.
Yeah.
I just like, I have the best team. I love my whole team.
Yay.
That's a quote from I Think You Should Leave guy. But
Yes.
I really am like, I'm obsessed with how you guys are just such hard workers. And like, because there was a time like last night when I was staring at my computer screen and I was like, I can't think of any jokes. I don't want to do this anymore. I give up.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's trash. I literally give up. I don't care. I want to go to bed. I hate this. And like no one else had that vibe. And even though everyone was just as tired as I was, if not more. And it's just good hard workers. And it's so nice to have. And everyone's so positive, and there's no bad vibes. Like ever.
No.
And that's really rare to have no bad vibes.
Yeah.
Or no like ego kind of things going on. It's
Any ego we may have had was taken out of us over the last 15 years.
of working in this business.
That's what we get. Yeah, that's what happens. You get to a certain point where you're just like, ego just has been so squashed.
Yeah, well, I did an Enneagram test on Sean this weekend. Sean is a 3.
Sure.
Okay.
He does it for the applause, like Lady Gaga.
The applause, the applause, the
Yeah.
applause. And so but I was like, Sean, when we do these, whenever I have a writing team, we usually just have a Google Doc and everyone just writes in it, and no one doesn't write their initials next to things. They don't write it in a different color
That's the greatest part
font.
about this system.
It's just there's no one knows who's writing what. Like unless you are active in the doc and you see someone writing the joke and it says their little name next to it.
Yeah.
If you just look into the doc, there's no evidence of who wrote what, right?
Yeah.
So when I choose jokes, I don't know who did what.
It's a beautiful system.
I'm not going,
That's
wow,
great.
Sean only got this many, Brian got this. Like I don't care. Everyone gets paid what they get paid, and then
there's some people are having an off week and they don't write very many things. And it's just like, hey,
And it's
I
okay.
know that everyone here is contributing.
yeah, and I know that everyone gives as much as they can when they can. You
Yeah.
know, like I've had off weeks before too, so I've never even faulted. I would never even look into it if I suspected someone wasn't contributing enough. I wouldn't be
Right.
like, oh, did they not work hard enough? I'm not going to pay them as much this week or something like that. It's just like I just know everyone can give what they can when everyone does their best. But I said to Sean, as a 3, that would really irritate me.
Yeah.
If I knew Nikki was choosing my jokes, but she didn't know she was choosing my jokes.
Yeah.
And she didn't know that out of the 30 jokes she did, 10 of them were mine, which is it would be an insane, percentage. And he said that he used to count jokes and like talk about it when he was a writer on Corden, James Corden. And when he first got there, he would like pay attention to like, he would count how many jokes he got in the monologue, and he would like talk about it amongst other writers and not brag, but kind of like maybe passive aggressively brag.
Yeah.
And someone who was like the original writer at Letterman who like founded the idea of the top 10 list.
Johnny Punchline.
Yeah. Johnny Punchline.
He invented the punchline.
He called him out and was like, Sean, nobody likes a jelly bean counter. And so Sean immediately got insecure about it. And then he has lost that. He doesn't care anymore. It really is like the thing that drives him to be a 3 has been beaten out of him. And he doesn't, of course he counts how many he gets in for himself. And I go, do you tell your wife? Do you tell anyone like this week I get this? Because I would not be okay with that. I just wouldn't.